I would just really like to show my deepest gratitude and appreciation to these three guys for saving my father's life. They went above and beyond the call of duty.
The night of the accident, I was up in Baxter talking to Officer Joe Bartello of the Baxter Police Department. I got a call for some debris that was on the interstate. Somebody had called in and stated that they had to go around it, so they wanted us to check it out. So I drove from Baxter down to the 159 exit of Interstate 80. As I approached where the incident, where the debris was, I could see plastic and chunks of wood and stuff all over the interstate. And then I noticed in the median there was the guardrail was all smashed up. So I pulled over and walked down the median and peered over, and there was a creek there. I saw the rear end of a semi. I radioed in that we had a semi submerged in the water and needed assistance. So about that time, Adam Herman of the Newton Police Department, he showed up.
As I was pulling up to the scene, Deputy Burdess was still kind of assessing what was going on because it was such an unusual circumstance, and it's not something that you see every day, a semi down between the two bridges. Being in the dark, being in a creek, hearing the traffic fly by you above your head, it was definitely an eerie experience. Deputy Burdess got on the radio and asked for a helicopter, just to be sure, that we had started somebody coming that way with a higher level of care. So while he was doing that, I ran to the west side of the bank, took my stuff off, jumped in the creek, and with an asp baton, started hitting the side of the cab, hoping that I could break a window so that we could make entry into the cab, and that's when we heard someone pounding on the ceiling from the inside.
And then about that time, Officer Bartello showed up, and he jumped in the water with us as well.
By the time I got there, Adam and Jeremy were already in the water on top of the cab and said that they had actually found somebody alive inside, which we really weren't expecting. I swam out to him. I got to the front of the cab. Adam was on the side with on the driver's side door, and as I was kind of treading water in the front, I found that the front windshield had been broken out, and I kind of found the opening with my feet. Started feeling around. I found that the opening was pretty large.
So we tried to call to the driver inside and tell him to come out to us, that the front window was out, and he was disoriented and stuff like that, and really didn't feel comfortable with swimming into the darkness.
His body temperature was very, very close to hypothermic, if not low 80s, high 70s. We decided one of us was probably going to have to swim under the water into his air pocket and talk to him and convince him to come out through the opening that we had found. So I was halfway submerged already, so I said I'd do it. Adam reached his hand through the same window. I actually held my hand. I took a breath, swam under the water. He helped guide me into the air pocket. When I came up, I think the water was probably just under my chin. And I think that the cab, as I reached around, was maybe just another 6 inches or so, if that.
There was maybe a foot of the very back part of the cab that was sticking out of the water, and that's actually the sleeper part of the cab. And Mr. Michael was clear in the very back part of that cab with his head up like this, just trying to get that much air.
The air was bad. It smelled just rank. It smelled like gasoline, diesel fuel. It was just stagnant and didn't feel like good air to breathe. He told me that he was having a really hard time breathing. I said, all right, we're going to try and swim out of here. I'm going to hit the roof 3 times, and then you're going to take a real deep breath, and we're going to go under, and I'm going to pull you out, and they're going to pull us out. So you just hold on to me, and we're going to get you out of here.
The driver, which turned out to be Dwayne Michael, he and Joe, they swam out through the front window, and then by that time the fire rescue, they had showed up, and they were there to help us, so we pulled him out of the window and handed him off to the fire rescue crew, and then they took care of him from there.
It was good that we got Mr. Michael out, but I always think about, the family and the Christmases that he'll have from now on, the birthdays that he won't miss.
He's still able to go home to his wife and kids, and it could have turned out a whole heck of a lot worse.
I owe them my life. I think the world of them. They're real nice, 3 nice guys.
I see these things as part of the job. Everybody gets into law enforcement for different reasons, but I got into it to make a difference in someone's life. I don't necessarily see the things I do as heroic. I just see them as part of my job. So
Ultimately, that is our goal, is to help. And heroic or not, I think that was what we did, was we helped the person in need that night.